Hello. It's Sunday. It's the 13th of January. And I had to take a day to stop and think about that and realise there's a few things that need to get done. Is anybody else in that place? It's not really like the beginning of January anymore. It's getting a little bit funky and things are starting to need to be looked over to make sure that we're in position. And something within the context of the studies that I've done and I've shared with you about significance, particularly about the maths component, is maths is very much about positioning, where a number is positioned. And I think we need to think positionally about our lives, about the fact that it's the 13th. Where do we want to be by the 31st? And I don't think we need to be stressed or worried. But for me, I ended up doing like 3 hours of admin just then. And within that 3 hours, there were times with the kids, there was a little bit of eating. But one of the things I needed to do is I had to make a phone call to somebody. And I'd requested his permission, either if he had some time this afternoon, or if he didn't, tomorrow would be adequate. And he was quite happy to chat this afternoon, so I was happy to invade his Sunday with his permission. And the questions that I needed to ask him were, a little bit different. They were outside the norms. They were pushing me out of a comfort zone of just going with the flow. But I knew that if I didn't ask these questions, I could possibly miss an opportunity for my youngest daughter. And I didn't want this January 13 to be a day that I just ignored for that. It was, no, today's the day. I need to move on this. And consequently, I ended up doing a lot of online forms that hadn't necessarily been done because printers and cartridges don't like, well, they know when we need them the most. And they don't have any ink left when we need them to. So I rectified that a few days ago and consequently got on and did a lot of the printing after the length of time that I had left it. So right now, my conversation to you, I want to ask you on the 13th of January, yes, it's Sunday. Some of you guys have been showing me through the week on your own Facebook pages that, you've been having a great time. Things are going, well in your life. Some of you have been walking along the beach today. And some of you have been organising and thinking through other parts of your life. And I celebrate everything. But right now, are you sure that you're positioned well on the 13th of Jan? One more week and it's the 20th. And I'm not doing the, wow, you got to be this, you got to be that. It's because I care. I care that you could do something in a 10-minute gap right here. Maybe it was to set up some bank account ideas. Maybe it was like some direct debits that you hadn't fully thought through. Maybe it was a letter that you haven't finished writing to someone. That's old school. Or an email. Maybe it's a Google page that you've still got open on your phone that you haven't finished completely researching to understand, is that going to work? Am I going to do that study this year, or am I just going to ignore it and maybe do mid-year? Maybe you need to relook at the admission for whatever institution, whatever course of study. I encourage you to do this. It's going to be uncomfortable. For me, I was like, okay, there's cricket on tonight. I want to watch cricket with my family tonight and not actually have to worry or be concerned with things I didn't do today. So on this Sunday, let's be a bit savvy, and for the next maybe half an hour, I encourage you, while the sun's still somewhat shining, well, there is still sunlight in your day, stop and consider what you could apply yourself to that will position you. Even if it's to write a letter, a list for yourself, like a good list, a list that you're going to follow for tomorrow, because tomorrow's Monday. People will answer their phone in a business setting. What is it? Do you need to relook at a comprehensive car insurance quote? Do you need to consider someone you haven't contacted and they've been on your heart? Or they've contacted you and you've not replied. You've not finished a thought through. Change in our lives often comes by stopping to consider our position. Let's do that together. I would love to hear from you as to what you have chosen to do for the next half an hour, or maybe you choose to do it at 10 p.m. tonight when you watch this. What have you done? What has benefited you? What made you stop? You know what? I'm going to go do it. So I've done some stuff. Actually, I did way too many things than I thought I would. But it's been very rewarding. And I'm glad I listened to me. So may you love on yourself and be good to you. And take each day for everything that it is. And this day's still got much, much in it. Even if you're really, really weary, you can pick up a pen, or you can open an app on your phone, and you can write yourself a note of application for tomorrow. And I'd love to hear from you about that. So God bless you all. Bye-bye.